following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Back at you, Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón, and today I'm sitting down here with a great motley crew of individuals that have been in public office, have run campaigns, have been involved with the public campaign scene here in Webb County and in Laredo, and that's what we're going to talk about. The South Texas elections, the do's, the don'ts, the campaigns that we think are going to pull their candidates forward, and all that good stuff. How we doing, gentlemen? Judge?
How you doing? Good seeing you.
Justice?
Good seeing you.
Mike, how we doing?
Good, good.
Sean?
Professor, how are you?
Thanks for having us.
No, thanks for you guys being here. There's a lot of chatter in Facebook. There's a lot of talk back and forth. There's a lot of, how can I say, there's a lot of positions of hate being spewed left and right. And you start seeing the cheerleaders already come out. You know, I'm for this candidate, I'm for that other candidate. You guys that have been there, you've been in the trenches, you've been public officials. What is going on with the campaigns?
First of all, not enough information. There's no information, no specific platforms, and I'm directing that towards the congressional race of the two Democratic candidates, which is Cisneros and the incumbent Cuellar, and there is a Republican candidate, Senator Whitten. We don't know exactly where they stand on the issues, and especially there are no debates. Usually there would be debates sponsored by LULAC or by KGNS or the Democratic Party. You know, maybe both parties could get together, especially for the congressional race and for the Webb County Commissioner's race. I believe I don't know the gentleman's last name. His first name is Dwight
Dillman.
And he's running against John Galo. And that race will be decided in November.
And there's another Republican running, which is running against, there's several Republicans actually, but it's running against Pastor Frank Pomeroy, who's running against Senator Suffering. And I think debates are needed. I've held some. I've tried hosting some. Last year we started the debates because of how candidates felt they were treated and their campaigns were treated during the Webb County Democratic debate. Some of them said there was no safety. Some of them said that the questions were loaded on one side. So we held debates, and we held debates for several others. We held debates this year, which we had, and we had a lot of candidates that said they were coming, they wouldn't show up. And I'm seeing that more and more. And they think by not showing up, people are going to vote for them. Actually, people need to see you. What do you think?
We need debates. If there's no debates, people are not going to go vote because they don't know where the candidates stand on a certain issue. So I think sometimes that's done on purpose, that there's no debates going on because there's a certain side of faction they don't want to hold debates because they don't want those people to go out and vote because they believe that with the name they already have the stronghold. So I think that's done on purpose at times.
I would agree with him. I do believe that the incumbents want to control the number of voters that go out there, and they want their base to go out there and vote and to get them over the hump this primary on March 3rd.
What would you say?
Wow, don't even get me started. I have to agree with a portion of what he says. I think the incumbents they feel that they're comfortable that nobody will take them out, so they don't have to debate. I think that the word on the street to them is that they're good, that they're going to win, and they don't have to do anything. So they won't debate because of the fact that they don't know how to debate.
They're
you know,
not good
and
debaters.
that's been a big problem. When I had a debate against my opponent, I had a debate with him once, and it didn't go in his favor. And after that, he was done, because that's just it. You show your true colors, who you really are, and sometimes the incumbent can just not be as bright.
Yeah, well, really, it should be done by the Democratic chair.
Right.
The Democratic chair is the chair, obviously, in charge of the Democratic Party locally. And he or she should take the reins and instruct them to do at least one debate for the public to be aware. At this point, because pretty much early voting is already here, I'm sure there's gonna be no more debates. There's not gonna be a chance for debate, but this should have been taken care of by the Democratic chair. Hopefully, the next Democratic chair is going to take the lead and make sure that they get that done.
I want to comment on the current Democratic Party chair. It's very unfortunate that the current Democratic Party chair holds public office. I think that the chair should not be holding public office. He is a councilman, is a chairman that should be neutral and for the benefit of the people of the city of Laredo and Webb County. It is his duty, his or her duty, to conduct these debates so that we can know where the respective candidates stand and what are their platforms.
I called out Albert Torres on that in front of city council as how he could be up there for our citizens, not only having a sheriff position or a constable position. He takes money from the county, from the city, and then donates his time to the Democratic Party and the shelter, right? I don't know. Of course, he said that wasn't against any, what was the word? They always use these fancy words.
It was not
Is
against
that, I mean, that's their responsibility. Now, of course, at the end of the day, if you're running for office, you should do a debate. Nobody should have to, I'm sure Mr. Torres will say, really, they're all old enough, they're adults, they know better, they should do debates. And so, but they don't even do that, so there's no accountability. And it's unfortunate because we're putting people in office who are going to protect us, physically protect us in law enforcement, who are going to judges as well as judges, and who are going to handle the legislative part of the government to create the laws. And so it should be their job to let us know where they stand on the issues.
Not even public access.
Right.
The city of Laredo is holding debates.
And it's not just a
Nobody's
party,
doing it.
but TAMIU hasn't held any debates. KGNS hasn't held any debates. Any organizations.
Or LULAC has as well.
So what's going on there? You
I
know?
believe that the people that are running against the ones in positions right now don't have enough tenacity to call out and to be in front of the people. They don't have enough spunk, they don't have enough charisma, they don't got it going on, right? Because I would call you out, if I'm running against you, I'd call you out, and I'd want to talk issues and platform with you, right?
Well, you know,
What do you believe in? What are you gonna do for your district? What are you gonna do for your people, or we the people?
Let me put it to you down here, and it boils down. We have way too many people that kiss ass and are afraid for others of what's gonna happen. So people in LULAC, people in the Kiwanis, people in the Rotarians, people in the TV and the newspaper, they shy to these people that are public officials that prance around the screen like, the nickel screen, like $5 mafiosis, and they think that they get their jobs being impugned.
It's retaliation.
Right,
They're afraid of retaliation. That's always
And
been
that-
and will always be.
Yeah, especially
I mean,
in Laredo.
Yeah, it's
Especially here.
intimidation.
Especially here. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it happened to me. I mean, it's happened to a lot of people. I'm not the only one, but
Sure.
that's just what it is. I mean,
It's happened to me.
for example,
Yeah,
we're
different
here
ways.
we're here today to discuss on who we feel is probably going to take on whatever position, our opinion on who we think is going to win each position, and I guarantee that with that, there's going to be some retaliation on us. I guarantee it.
I'm pretty sure. Listen,
I don't know if there will be, but I can tell you that but you're only asking for a very basic request. Let us know where you stand on the issues. What is so basic in the American process is that more than just that. Just have a forum. Let us know where you stand for the next 2 years, 4 years. Are you going to protect us? Are you going to provide more security? Are you going to pass certain laws to protect anything?
Well,
Question
Judge,
is, they don't want to practice a democracy in this
Well,
community.
No.
They don't,
I
especially
mean,
in debates.
the only thing I've seen in during this whole time, these elections is the same thing, and it's, all I hear is, it's time for a change. I mean, that's the only thing that they can come up with, it's time for change. Change for what?
Yeah,
It's not time for change, it's
And
time
what are
for
you
you to
gonna
do
change
something.
to?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
What do you want to change and how do you plan to go?
Nobody's, I haven't seen anybody that's been proactive. No elected official has been proactive. I have yet to see any elected official that's proactive until they run for office again, or when their election is coming up again. Then you start seeing them at the old folks' homes. Then you start seeing them doing this and having dances. Do it all year round.
Listen, you know, I used to make fun, and I still do, and
Yeah.
everybody,
Say hello to me when they're not ready.
you know, and last political season, what happened? Everybody ran around and adopted a dog or a cat. Nobody gave a crap about a dog or a cat in the pounds for years. All of a sudden, everybody had a dog and a cat. Everybody bought one. Everybody was holding one. Everybody, let's go feed the dogs and the cat. Now, where are they? I'm waiting for everybody else to go to adopt a cat or a dog. You know what I'm saying? Or put a shovel in the ground. Look what I'm doing for the thing. No. Listen, this soap and suds already stopped a long time ago. We have people that understand what's going on. We can smoke and screen them. When you get the little kid, the magician, don't do magic tricks for a little kid because they're going to say, look what you're handling. Understand? That's what happened now. We have people that have already woken up. We don't have the 10 years, 20 years ago that the sheriff would come around and say, you know what, you better stop your cousin from putting a sign there because your son's going to no longer have a job. And all of a sudden you had your uncle calling and say, hey, you know, Paul, your primo's going to lose a job if you have that bumper sticker. That's stopping now. You don't see the bumper sticker madness anymore. You don't see that.
You don't see the bumper sticker madness, or you don't see the retaliation.
Well, it's kind of subsided now. In a certain point, you know, and people might say, no, it has not. And
Well,
I don't want to put a Trump sticker because I'm going to get my car keyed.
yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah,
what's
me
gonna
too.
happen.
It's the same with me.
You know, you know, that's just
You
the
know,
way it is.
well,
They're gonna flatten all 4 tires.
Yeah.
They have a Trump sticker.
No, I'm sure they won't. I mean, I don't know about that.
It's
I can
happened
tell
in
you
San
that-
Antonio.
Come on.
but when I'm
My
talking,
Make America Great hat triggers them like by all means.
Yeah,
anywhere.
no, the hat definitely gets everybody excited one way or another. I know. But really, at the end of the day, though, at the end of the day, I just think people, I mean, we're the voters. It's not our job to be, they're supposed to tell us what they're running for.
Yeah.
It's their job. Don't put it on me to tell you what you stand for.
no, you're
It's your
absolutely
job
correct.
to, not to come out on Facebook, but to put a TV ad, to do a town forum, to stand in the corner and say, you know what, I'm gonna be at this corner, and you can ask me any questions that you want, or I'm gonna do a forum on my own with my own supporters, but come on over and I'll answer any questions you want. Anything to let us know what you stand for. I'm talking down from JP all the way to congressional race, because there has been no debate subject except for the one that you did for.
Or not even town meetings, like you
Yeah.
said.
Anything.
You know, they have town meetings. And all of a sudden, all these 2,000 people show up and.
I think they had one in Zapata where they were
You
able
know,
to get the
they
candidate.
were-
These mass numbers all of a sudden appear, and all of a sudden now you have a new Vision Zero, or whatever the hell they're trying to put. But what we're trying to do now is try to see where everybody's at. How do you see the races? Number one, you mentioned the congressional race. How do you see that?
I see the Democratic nominee will win this election, you know,
Sure.
going into November, whoever, whether it's Cuellar or Cisneros. In talking to people, Cuellar should pull it out. However, the Cisneros people have a lot of young people, collegiate, very energetic, a lot of Facebook shares of videos and stuff like that. The question is, will they go out and vote?
That's the thing, you
The
know.
young people, will they come through? In the past, they have not. She's banking on that and people that are dissatisfied with Congressman Cuellar, that they find him too conservative and not addressing enough of the needs of South Texas. He is a, I guess, what's he called?
A
Blue dog?
blue dog.
Blue Dog Democrat, and he does have a track record, but I've noticed that this time around, he has been bringing a lot for the district because he's got an opponent, and this is money that's coming from George Soros or from the Ocasio-Cortez people and the progressive Democrats or socialist Democrats. Or so I call them the comrades.
Well, let's not be afraid to call the socialists as they want to be called, right? Let's not sugarcoat it, because that's true. I am a capitalist. I believe in the American way, or else we couldn't have this dojo. I couldn't sell burgers. You couldn't be what you are, you know? We'd all be making wallets somewhere. You know,
I see
but-
nothing wrong if the Koch brothers want to put money in, or the Ocasio-Cortez people want to put money in. I see nothing wrong with it, so long as you are obviously you need to just be accountable, and if you are socialist, just say it, you're a socialist, so be it. I think though, in the race for presidential primary, if Sanders, which I think will do does very well, then it's gonna carry, it can help carry some of the votes for the congressional district here in Laredo, for Jessica Cisneros. Call it what it is, if you're
No, yes, well, she's being backed up by Bernie and by.
Right.
By
But
Warren.
let me put it to you this way, this is the way I'm looking at it.
Alexandria.
And I'm looking at it, and I agree with you 100% with the collegiate. It's the same crowd as with Bernie, okay? If Bernie pulls it off and ends up being the candidate for the Democrats, you're gonna see a lot of strength towards the socialist movement, because it's already in our face. If Jessica wins here, she will be our next congresswoman, and it's gonna have that socialist agenda. What people are, we're dealing with Bernie Sanders, and we've been touching base with the collegiate, just like you said, and I think that's the main important issue.
Will they go vote? That's the question. I know he's motivated them, they're excited, some of the young voters, but will they go vote? And depends how Bernie does in the Texas primary. Will it be enough for Jessica Cisneros to ride his coattails for an upset? Now, on paper and looking at the ground game for Henry Cuellar, he should win. He should win. And whoever is the nominee will win in November.
Absolutely. We got some other races, you know, we have, in Texas, we have Texas Senator Safarini, who's also running against a Republican candidate. Frank Pomeroy. We have Representative Tracy King running against ex-judge Danny Valdez from Webb County. We have 2 constable races here. We have the sheriff's race, the tax assessor's race, and we have a justice of the peace race. So let's touch base with the state representative race with Tracy King and Judge Danny Valdez. How do you all see it?
Analyzing it as an analyst, I give it to the incumbent. The district has drawn in favor of Tracy King, in my opinion, over Judge Valdez.
Chama, how do you look at that?
I'm not really up to par on the politics of that particular race, to be honest. I know Judge Valdez during his tenure here did a lot for our county, right? I don't know if he has political strength to go across the state or this district. I think it's the 28th district.
The 80th.
80th, I think, for the
80th.
Right.
The 8th district. There has not been a lot of publicity on that race on the platforms.
I think it goes to Eagle Pass and Carrizo.
Does that go to Zapata?
It goes to
Yes,
Zapata
it
as
does.
well.
I think when Jerry Garza ran the last time, he lost Zapata, I think, right? And if he were won Zapata, I think that would have put him
Right.
above Tracy King.
Right.
So I think that Danny Valdez should have gone, or should go that route,
Right.
because if Zapata turned for Tracy King, then I think that
And
needs to be
I
his
think
main
Valdez
goal.
is focusing on San Zapata a lot. He's been there often, so he has a good chance of winning Zapata. Webb County, on the other hand, it's going to be a bit tough.
Judge?
My view has always been that every time there's an election, about 80% of the people, incumbents win, whether we like it or not. It's just the way it is. If no one's talking about your race, you're not gonna win. If you're not the incumbent.
Absolutely.
So that's basically how I will put this one. If no one's talking about Danny Valdez or talking about this race, then the incumbent takes it.
I have to agree with the judge, the race is low key, very
Yeah,
low key.
absolutely. And I look at it this way. I think I'm going to go with you. I think the incumbent's going to win. And I saw, and both of them are good friends of mine. And I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just looking at mistakes that are being done in the campaigns. And I think outside Webb County, I think is going to be where we're going to lose it. For Danny Valdez.
I mean, I've seen a lot of his posts, And I've seen, we were talking about the grassroots campaigning, and I think that's what he's doing. I think that's the way to go if you want to win for office is the grassroots campaign. And a lot of people have lost that. And I think that Danny's kept it up. Tracy King, I haven't seen him out too much. He doesn't have to.
Because we're not in that district, I don't know how the rest of the district thinks,
Right,
but if you're
absolutely.
doing that helps a lot.
I think they're both doing that, is what I'm looking at. Now let's switch it over. Let's go to our sheriff's race. You have Martin Cuellar, who's the brother of the congressman. How do you look at that race?
No endorsement for either candidate, but I'm gonna call it in favor of the incumbent on name recognition. I believe the majority of the employees are happy working with him, so they will work for him to get him reelected.
Chano?
I tend to agree with the latter. I think the sheriff's gonna be holding it up.
Mike, how do you look at that?
I think Ponce kind of started off strong and then slowed down a lot. I think if he would have kept it up, he probably would have got somewhere. But I think Martin's going to take it on name recognition, not so much the job that he's done, but I think just name recognition.
I agree. His name will probably carry him, but Ponce has done a great job campaigning.
Mm-hmm.
The Cuellar name is very synonymous to Laredo politics, and so if you're running as a Cuellar, then you're in good shape to winning. But when no one's even talking about that particular race, the incumbents are going to win.
I don't think Ponce has the cash flow that Martin Cuellar has and
Right.
able to raising money.
Right.
It's another
Well,
factor.
and we gotta see how the sheriff's office has expanded during Cuellar's tenure with all the money that's come in.
That's, you have to look at a lot of different things. I think Ponce is a nice guy. The sheriff's also a nice guy. I think right now it's going to be, I'm going to give it to the incumbent because of the way some
Right.
races are being held.
But if you look at what we're talking about, who's a nice person, who's not a nice person, all because, like you said earlier, Hilario, there were no debates, no
There were
forums.
none. There were
We
no
don't know
debates.
who these people, how they stand on the issues.
platforms.
So we got to base it on our personalities. It's unfortunate.
Absolutely. And we
some
tried
of the
having
posts that we
debates.
see on the drug bust that they're doing here, or it's,
Right.
over there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. Now from there, we're going to go to the tax assessor, which we have Judge Rosie Cuellar, which is the incumbent, running against Ms. Valdez, right?
Barrera.
Barrera.
Oh, Valdez and
And
Barrera,
Barrera.
right?
So that's one that we have to go in here. That's a different topic because we're talking about this before. And how do you look at that, Eladio?
I'm gonna say runoff. If Rosie can avoid a runoff, if she can ride the coattails of her brother, she'll be reelected. If she gets into a runoff, there could become a race. Unless the sheriff really goes out and campaigns for his sister and gets her over the hump. Because Ms. Barrera does have a very good track record. She ran the office effectively and efficiently. I do believe she was damaged a little bit by her run for county judge, but only time will tell. We'll see what happens. There will be a runoff in that race, in my opinion.
Chano?
A little bit too close to call. I believe the track record from Ms. Barrera could carry her through.
Mike, how do you look at that?
I see Patricia Barrera taking it just because of the experience that she has and how that office was run when she was there. That's what I see. I really don't think that. And I'm going to tell you this because I think the ones that have run for office have been through this, but there's no other candidate that's going to help you. So if me and the judge are running for office, and I go in and say, hey, the judge and I are running together, so I'm not going to go and tell people to back him up. If I'm running, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to just say, hey, Paul, I'm running, and so is the judge. I'm going to go to you and say, hey, I'm running.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take care of anybody else. I don't care if it's my brother or my sister or whatever. That's the way I see it. I really don't think that Martin's going to go and say, hey, I'm running, vote for my sister and vote for my brother too. I seriously doubt that. But I don't know. I haven't talked to the guy. I really think that Patricia's going to take it this time. I think a lot of people have been just wanting that office back to what it used to be. I think that the damage was done, but I don't think it was enough to keep her out.
I think there is gonna be a runoff because of the third candidate, Ms. Valdez, I believe is her name, she hasn't even campaigned. But I think she can be the spoiler, gonna give you a runoff. The question is, if there is a runoff, it's gonna be between Barrera and Cuellar. That time, the Cuellars are not gonna be running, and if they are helping her.
Only the brother.
The brother, well, no, there's gonna be a runoff with the sheriffs.
But
So,
Congress.
the Congress, right, there's no runoff there, because there was only two candidates. So if there is a runoff, you're not gonna have the Cuellars running with each other in the runoff, so that's gonna change everything.
Mind you, they are sharing a campaign headquarters right now.
Correct, yes, they
Down
are.
on McPherson Road. All three of the Cuellards are there together.
Judge?
But only time will tell. if the
My
brothers
view
will
is
help
that
her.
the Cuellar's name matters, and she should get it this first time around. She should, but if she gets into runoff, she's not gonna win this. She's gonna have a very hard time winning the election because she won't have the rest of the organization, right? The sheriff's races and other things getting involved. But a lot of people have good impressions of Patricia Barrera when she was the tax assessor, and so because of that, that definitely is gonna keep it very close.
I'm gonna call it this way. The Cuellar name does pull out here, but Patricia also has a name. I understand the spoiler there, but I'm also I'm looking at what people say on Facebook, and I'm looking at the public forums like LMT and so on and so forth. There's a lot of resentment against the judge. And people are not paying attention to that. Now, if those people come out and vote, then it's gonna be an upset by Patricia. Right now, if those people that are out there pushing that resentment come out, Patricia will take over.
But you know what, though, the thing is, and now that you bring that up, is that I've seen that a lot too, but it's not only for the judge, it's not only for Rosie, it's for all the Cuellas.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that are sick of it.
There
you know,
is
but
a
do they go out and vote?
undercurrent
Probably not.
out there. Yeah.
Right.
You know,
So, that needs to be changed. Now we're gonna go into a race.
kinda
The
like the
following race
Congressman.
is a
You know,
constable
it's the
race.
best of
Rudy
the
Rodriguez.
worst evils.
Rudy Rodriguez race. You got Councilman Rodriguez, incumbent. You have Rick Romo, which was deputy for a very long time, and you have J.J. Rendon, which is a deputy under the sheriffs. How do you see that race? How do you see that?
I call that race a runoff between the incumbent and with Mr. J.J. Rendon because of the sheriff's race. Sheriff will probably get him into a runoff against the incumbent.
I would like to see Rick Romo on top, or into the final, right? Because of his dedication to the position and his respect to it, right?
Mike?
I see Rudy and JJ. I see a runoff between them two.
Yeah, I think there'll be a runoff again with the incumbent Rodriguez and Rendon.
I think the constable has shown a lot of good work in the last 10, 12 years he's been there. If he doesn't pull it off this time around, he's gonna have another one. If you don't pull it off as an incumbent at the very beginning, you get into runoff, then all bets are off. I still think he could pull it off, but if there's a runoff, it may be with the person you mentioned a minute ago, with Romo. And if that happens, then all bets are off for the incumbents. The incumbents cannot lose the first round. If they lose the first round and get into runoff, it's gonna be very difficult for them to turn it around.
Agree?
You know, I know all three of them personally. I've seen the way they've acted. I've seen each one of them. The incumbent's gonna be in the runoff. Now, on the other two, I do believe we might have a surprise because of Romo's family, okay? And they're very, very strong out in the community, and the adults are as well, and he's being pushed by the sheriff. But I'm gonna see it this way, you know, I'm gonna call Romo and Rodriguez. I'm gonna have to call it that way. And I'm not endorsing either one, I'm just calling it because of the way.
But we could have avoided, and I remind all those candidates, we could have avoided even our analysis could have been different had they done debates.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, if we're not.
Give us more info.
Right, give us
I
more
was just-
info.
yeah, that's right.
We're predicating all our opinions based on what we have heard or
Or
know.
seen or experienced.
Right.
You know, so
But then-
that's hard to do, you know, and we invited everybody with debates, and we've talked about the debates here. And
Any debates, you know, but
and
they
Rick
didn't.
Romo showed up from the debate. He was the only one out of the three that showed up. Patricia Barrera was the only one of the three that showed up. They were all invited formally, both publicly, and I talked to them and so on and so forth. And I understood J.J. Rendon, he told me that he was not going to make it. There was some family issues. I mean, the ex-councilman is very, very sick, and and there's some other issues going on. And I respect that. I mean, I respected that. But then all of a sudden, Rudy Rodriguez kind of like, yeah, we'll do it another date. Well, give me the other date and we can set it up for everybody. And then everybody gets back. So I know Rudy. I know him personally. And Romo showed force that he came out here and he wanted to come out and get it. But I think if he does make Romo make it into the runoff, it's because of his family, the unity that he has in the family. It's very, very strong. I'm not saying that the Rendons are not, because they're also very united, but in the Cuellas as well. But I think people are missing that little element of Romo.
Again, you got the Cuellar name, you got this intro fight between the constable and the sheriff's race.
Sure.
Then you got the Bernie Sanders race pushing some of those people to go vote for maybe Jessica Cisneros. Those are all outside influences out there that's gonna, at the end of the day, will play out and see which one is the stronger one.
Absolutely. Now we're going to talk about a race that has 4 new candidates in there. And this race, all 4 of them came to the debate. And all 4 of them spoke nice. I've not seen any attack by any candidates per se. And it's Marilena Morales, your ex-wife, Monica Liendo, okay? You have Juan Paz, and you have Mary Perez. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Who do you like? Who do you like? Who do you see?
I'm not endorsing again, and analyze it. The Liendo name does carry some weight. Monica has been involved in the community. Mary Perez has been publicizing herself even way before she was going to run for office with her signs and her computer business. And I'm going to call Liendo and Perez in a runoff, and that's just my opinion.
Sure.
No endorsement.
Chano?
I think Ms. Liendo will come out on top on this. I think the name will carry her plus some of her achievements. Right?
Sure. And Mike?
Well, I've met with every single one of them, with Paz and Perez and everybody that's running, and they're all really nice. But I know Monica personally, and I've seen what she's done. And like we said, there's no debate. Well, there was a debate, but there could have been more. You know,
Right.
I don't think there was enough time, you know, to do it. But it maybe if, like we said earlier, the Kiwanis or the LULAC or even and
KGMS, public access.
yeah. If that was, maybe we can see what other ideas they have. But Monica, I can tell you that I was married to her a long time ago. We have 2 beautiful kids together. I can honestly say she is the best mother to those kids. She has always been involved in the community without anybody knowing, because she didn't have to go out there and she didn't want the cameras on her. But she did what she wanted to do for the community, and which is in the precinct that she's running for. So I think the name recognition, I just think that Monica has made her name within that community, within that precinct, because people know who she is and she's helped out. So I think that Monica's she's pretty strong. I think it's going to be her and Maria Elena.
Right, and I think the Cuellas are helping get Liendo out. So I think she's going to be in the runoff. Maria Elena, I think she is the most experienced in that race. And I think she's run a pretty good campaign. So I think it's going to be between Maria Elena and Liendo.
My view, of course, is that the Liendo carries a lot of weight on the west side, especially, so she certainly is going to have a lot of support. Of course, she's got the support of the sheriff's office, but that definitely is going to help. And so I think that you cannot deny the fact that she should be in a runoff, because there will be a runoff. The only thing is whether or not who else is going to make it. And I would just go back to what I knew from the past. Mr. Juan Paz Jr. was in fact a firefighter, has had the support of the firefighters for many years. He's run twice against Judge Liendo, has picked up at least 35%. I'm assuming, and based because we haven't seen much activity, based on the past, I can only figure out that maybe he'll pick up his 35%. If he picks up his 35%, that's enough to just get him into runoff.
Yeah.
What happens after that will be all bets are off.
You know, I know all, I met the only one I did not know previous was Mary Perez, and she seems like a great individual. Yes. Every single one of them I have nothing against. There is going to be a runoff for sure, and the Liendo name is going to carry her. So I think the Liendo name is number one. So I gave Monica a slot, and the other 2 that are fighting for the second slot is Marilena Morales and Mary Perez because of her social media networking that she's been doing. And that counts a lot, okay? Juan Paz is an excellent individual, you know.
Very nice
I
man.
think if he would have run against the judge that is now, I think that would have been I think that would have been an upset. I think right there you would have seen an upset. This about the firefighters, and I must say this, I've seen the firefighters help out in another race on another firefighter, and they did this to him. And that's what I think to me is gonna happen here. It's not a race for the city, it's a race for the county.
Yeah.
And guess what? No contracts are being made, so they might not even go out and vote. And if they do vote,
Well, my experience is the firefighters are very united, so I would imagine they are gonna go out and help. The question is, there's only so many firefighters.
they live in that
And
district.
again, exactly, and then Monica, again, she is the daughter of the judge, and she was a peace officer, and so all those things, and the judge is beloved in the west side, so, you know, there's a lot of support there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And then, you know, the other race that we have not talked about is the commissioner's race. And there's two commissioner races. The commissioner north against John Galo, which has a Republican, we can leave that set for November. But let's talk about the race in the south, which is the incumbent, Commissioner Jesse Gonzalez, Ms. Lisa De Leon, and Mr. Lupe De Leon. And how do you see that?
I'll give it to Jesse, the incumbent, sheriff's backing, former employee of the sheriff. You have a disgruntled employee. I don't know the other candidate, and heads up, the incumbent takes it without a runoff. So they're two weak candidates, in my opinion.
Sure.
Again, no endorsement.
I'm not sure on the county. I've heard a little bit about Jesse Gonzalez and what he's doing, right? I guess as an incumbent, he may pull it off.
Mike?
Because like nobody else is talking about the other people.
Absolutely.
I know Lupe De Leon, and I don't think that he's really focused on the real issues in precinct 1. Lisa, I know her mom and her have a good crowd. I think she's distracted with everything that's happened recently to her. Jesse is the incumbent. I can't really say that he's done much, you know, because it's not really that. I mean, I haven't.
Or
really
that, or you started all of that.
Well, the thing is that the projects that he's finishing up were projects that I left behind, you know, and there's other issues that I wish that he would, you know, take care of. Like
But he
one,
showed good judgment to carry on your project.
well, he did, and that's great. But the one that I disagree with was building a park when in a colonia that doesn't even have water. So why would you build a park when there's no water? You know what I mean? So it doesn't make any sense. First, you know, attack that issue. But I think that he's doing good. I think he's, you know, I think he's spending more time now as a commissioner than as anything else, which is, that needs to be done. That's really unheard of. You don't have a full-time commissioner. So I think he's starting to focus now. He's starting to get, you know, his head on right. And I think Jesse's going to pull it off.
Well, I think there's a big run-up between Jesse and Lisa De Leon. You know, I know Lisa, she's the employee of his, so, and I think there's a lot of stuff going on there, infighting and stuff like that. So, it basically, I think it's gonna be a close one, but I think there's gonna be a run-up in the end.
Judge?
I don't have a good sense there about South Laredo since I don't live in the area, but when you don't hear about the race, the incumbent's gonna take it. I agree with Hilario that he'll probably take it, as far as I'm concerned, without a runoff. But I could be wrong because, you know, I don't live in the district, so I couldn't tell you what's going on.
Yeah, I could be wrong too, but.
Well, Jesse's
Jesse's will take it.
Jesse's been involved in politics all his life. I mean,
Well,
you know, just
yeah.
the same as his brothers and his
He
dad.
has a pedigree, a political pedigree for many years, so obviously, but just like he did, so did Lisa De Leon.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I'm
we'll see.
saying. Lisa can be a threat. She
Right.
can ruin it.
Right.
I mean, because there have been some upsets. I mean, the Frank Sharafa upset with me. You know what I mean? You never know. Lisa can come out, you know, strong and get all these people out there. I think what a lot of us tend to forget is people get tired of the same name. You know what I mean? I think that's
And maybe
what they
nothing
need.
getting done.
Right, and nothing getting done because.
Well,
It's just
you know, we've talked a lot, and you said
Yeah,
this.
I was just gonna say real quick that all my predictions and my views are subject to who knows what will happen tomorrow. And
Yeah.
they're just predictions. That doesn't mean that I support,
Yeah.
we support these candidates. It's just the way for what we see.
We're just seeing it as analysts.
Right.
You know,
That's it.
I'll look at it this
That
way,
have been
and
involved in politics.
I'll put my 2 cents in with Jesse's race. I know Lupe, I've known him for many years, I know Jesse as well. I just talked to Lisa because of that. We did have a debate. Lisa, her mom had just passed away that same week, and that is a very excuse that Nina cannot make it, you know? I see her not going as strong. I've seen some personal attacks against her, which you start seeing. She was one of the ones that started getting attacked pretty early. I don't think it came from Jesse as per se, but I think people just put it out there because there's a lot of hate going on over there. I mean, there's a lot of all over the place that people just throw things out there just to throw a smoke screen. Lupe, I talked to him. He was supposed to come to the debate. I talked to him the night before. He said he was going to be here. I talked to him early that day. He said he was going to be here. We waited for over half an hour, and when I talked to him, he said that he was going to better things to do, like holding a sign. So, to me, I give it to Jesse. And the only reason I say it to Jesse because I've seen him out there working left and right and trying to get that community going. Things that you started, planting that seed, I think he's continued cultivating it, and I think that's what you need to do.
But yeah, I mean, South Laredo needs a lot of work, and that's something that we were starting to work on. It's not anything easy to bring revenue there to South Laredo. I think the sports complex idea that he said he had was actually my idea that I was bringing that we had already been working on. So we had gone to Round Rock to go check it out, which would bring in a lot of revenue to South Laredo and the whole Webb County. So I think that if Jesse starts working on that and completes that project, we're gonna have a whole ton of revenue coming in from the sports complex,
Absolutely.
hotels around the area.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
he needs to keep going with that and follow through with his
Is
promise.
that gonna be elected, a referendum, or is that something's gonna?
I don't know what he's got planned. All I know is that we had discussed it when I was in office. We had discussed it. We were already working on it. We saw the piece of land that was going to be donated. We had everything in the works. I mean, it's just unfortunate that it didn't happen the way I expected it, right? But I do think that, that's just how it is. I think South Laredo is going to come up. I think Jesse is starting to move it forward. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, the whole process. But
Here's what I'm going to say next time I put in there. This election is very crucial. It's crucial in many, many facets, okay? One, the attack on our Second Amendment, on our Constitution, socialism on the rise, all that is coming of age. And people are starting to wake up to that and understanding that. We here in Laredo, we're always kind of like a fad behind. They had bell bottoms in the '80s. We started getting the bell bottoms.
I had
The
a
women
piece of
started-
it.
So we're kind of. So now you start seeing people like, hey, did you know that that's socialism? Well, you guys wanted them the last time, so now they're kind of waking up to that, and that's good. Okay, but we
Waking
need.
up to comrades.
You know what I'm saying? So what we need people that can bring money here to Laredo. We need congressmen, senators, and representatives in the state legislature that can bring money here. And then we have to understand that our city leaders have to know how to use that money here wisely to keep jobs, because that's basically
They
what's
need to
happening.
learn how to go to trade shows in other
Absolutely.
parts of the country to bring in business over here.
Absolutely.
And become part of that trade and not just be subservient to one industry, which is the trucking industry, right?
Yeah.
Because back in the '80s, we had maquilas on both sides. We had Levi's here. We were making cots for the army. We were doing a ton of stuff. But our taxes went up and they went out. People wanted to come in. We never gave them a tax break. They went somewhere else. So
In fact, the guy that made the cuts moved his factory to San Antonio.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of
why?
stuff.
Because we got a better deal.
You got a better
Yeah,
deal.
Toyota, there's a bunch of stuff that we've lost. But we cannot be with what we lost, and we have to start figuring out what we're in there.
Well, that's where I'm going.
And
That's
that's-
that we need to go to these trade shows to bring that manufacturing of solar panels down, to bring of solar chips down, and on and on.
Manufacturing.
Robotics and so on.
The robotics.
What's
None of-
the future? What's the future?
The thing is, we have NAFTA, we have the trucking industry. Where are the high-paying jobs? Why do a
Absolutely.
lot of our young people from Laredo, example, my daughters, they choose not to be here? Why? Better paying jobs, in different parts of the state or in the country.
It's
the quality of life.
Quality of life is-
Quality of life is horrible, man.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely, you're correct about the whole thing. Again, how about,
I try to paint it as pretty as I can.
No, you
right?
can't. You
You
can't.
can't.
The quality
You
of life
can't.
here is not that good. I mean, you know, you're gonna pay $1,200-$1,300 for a decent apartment, and you're not even making that much at your job. But then, you know, to get into that apartment, you have to make 3 times the amount of. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard to live here. It's hard to live here.
It's very hard,
You
yes.
can't get a good paying job, and you know what? You can't get a good paying job unless you know somebody. That's just how it is.
how about some,
And you gotta be the clique, man.
And you got to be in the clique.
We're not in.
And you have to be
how about some words for the guys out there in this, in number one, voting starts on Tuesday.
Tuesday, yes, early voting.
February the 18th.
Go out and vote. Let's save this democracy.
Vote red, if you can, please.
Vote
Make
for the
Laredo
best
better.
candidate. Research your candidates, it's very important.
That's number one. Research each candidate, call them up and vote. Go vote. Exercise your right to vote. Till next time, peace, and continue the conversation.
Thank you.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.